Devil by MILCK today. If you have not seen the previous video and you don't feel comfortable with the previous floor work choreography, please feel free to check in with part 1. We're going to pick up kind of where that left off. We've come to the base of our pole. When we do our run-throughs of this, we're going to start from that special ground pound. And then we will have it at the end running through the whole song so far. So you can always skip to the end if you're just here for that review of where our pieces fit together. But we are starting next to our poles. We have swiveled to get to them. We'll talk about the timing a little bit later, since you may find you have, as you get more comfortable with this choreography, a lot more time here than you're expecting. So there might be the opportunity for some hair flakes, for some body waves, things like that. But for now, we're just going to focus on the next chunk, not necessarily those transitional pieces. I am next to my pole. We have pivoted around. You are welcome to pivot and end up on your heels, but we are going to eventually be all the way up on our knees in order for our height for this to work. So I'm here. We're going to come up, hands are going to come high, and we're going to lift one leg at a time, or both legs at the same time, depending on how you want this to look and how your strength feels consistently. So I'm either lifting one leg, two leg, and I do have the mat in front of me so that I have space, not right underneath me. Or if we feel nice and stable, I can lift both legs at the same time. We're then going to do a body wave or hip circles. We're going to do 2 of them. She says devil, devil again, so go figure. We're going to hit those beats one more time. I want to demonstrate both sideways so that you can see what my body is doing, and you're welcome to do whichever one you feel more comfortable with. So my body wave is going to be just like a body wave would be standing. I'm going to move chest and then hips, rocking up onto the toes. So if we are dropped to here, I'm going to go chest, hips, booty drop. You're welcome to play with that. Keep in mind, in theory, our knees are going to be pointed towards our audience. So what they are going to see is going to be this. Try and keep those knees together while we can do it from here stylistically if you'd like to. That does kind of depend on your comfort level, whether you think that visually looks better or shows off the things that you would like it to. Our other option is going to be drawing hip circles. If you feel like those waves just don't look the way that you want them to, if your spine isn't doing that snake motion as well as you would like it to, we can just do a big circle with those hips instead. So from the side, I'm going to come down, and then I'm just going to do a big booty circle, whichever direction I like. Audience-wise, you're going to see that big booty circle. There's going to be a lot more knee movement in it. With that circle, another option is to have those legs open and to drop the knees in as you drop the booty. Visually, I don't care which one of these you do. You're going to do it twice. Either 2 body waves, 2 circles, 2 knee circles. Play with it, see what your body likes. If I'm doing those knee circles, I'm going to go up, drop the knees together, and knees together. Whoosh. So I guess that's less of a body circle and more of a body wave. We're going the other way. So instead of chest down, it goes knees up. Find whatever you like. We're going to do 2 of those. When she says, devil, devil. And then we're going to close those, we're going to open those legs. Cross, twirly leg out, twirly leg in. We can work on this without our pole if you would like to, if you don't have a pole at home, or if this is a new movement for you and you want to really be able to focus on those legs. I'm going to come to a booty lifted position. So hands can be behind me, I'm gonna be up, lift the booty. And we're gonna take our outside leg, the one furthest from our pole in theory, and I'm going to cross it over. I'm then going to point it towards the ceiling, towards the floor. Nice big circle, pop it to the ground, and close it back with that circle. If you feel like leg circles are just not your friend, we can try it just from that candlestick to give those arms a break instead. I'm going to come back onto my elbows, lift those legs and leave them lie all the way on the floor. One leg is going to bend, and I'm going to cross, open, twirl, tap, and circle on the way back. My circle goes in the direction that I am moving. So when I close my leg, my circle is going to go towards my other leg, and then twirl me across. Please play with that. Leg twirls can look really cool, but only if we have the clearness to the movement. If it's sort of just, leg thing, and then go back the other way, it really stops looking clean and polished and can instead become like this really muddy, kind of gross area of choreography. So take your time with these, play with them. They're also a fun core workout. But we're gonna do that on our pole. We do have an extra count. So, I've come here. We've lifted to here, and we've gone body wave, body wave. I'm gonna pop the legs wide. Outside leg close. Twirly, tap, twirly, close. Even if your legs are open, just lift and stomp them then. If you have them open for that body wave instead of closed, that's fine. Lift and tap them. If they're closed, open them. So that leg cross looks more dramatic. We're gonna go from that leg cross into a stand. We're gonna do a swivel stand. So I'm gonna push my weight through that top leg, which is crossed over. Big push with my arms to bring myself up to standing, facing towards my pole. So, I'm very clacky today. Let's take it from that knee position. We've come around to our knees. Do I have my counts written down yet? Yeah, so 7, 8, bring it roughly to here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, big swivel, 7, 8. Doesn't really matter if you're in heels or on your toes. We do want that swivel to happen while our knees are still bent. Swiveling and straightening at the same time can be a little bit awkward. So let's try just that crossover again. You can try it from a higher height if you're still getting used to it. So I can try it from just right here. I'm gonna cross, pivot, both knees bent, heels down, booty up. Exact same thing. Just the lower down we get, the harder that leg push at the end gets. So if we are all the way down here, I'm gonna cross, toes down, so I'm gonna crouch, big pull with the arms, push with the legs, find a little booty swivel so my hips are facing my shoulders. From there, and then we will insert it with our counts and our music. We're gonna do a walk into a fan kick, into this pose. I'm calling it our rock star pose. You can call it whatever you want to. The main thing with it, and I'm gonna do it facing away from you, and I'm gonna do it facing towards you, because this is arguably one of our most difficult movements in this section. I'd say the leg twirl and then this. Everything else is pretty easy, or at least pretty straightforward. It is what it looks like. I've come up. One of your legs is gonna be in the front. Don't remember which one. It's gonna come up. I'm gonna step into my fan kick. So we're gonna, nice big grip, big fan kick. I'm gonna land. One leg to the front, one leg to the back. Slide down that inside arm. Big bend. Is this cooler looking in heels? Absolutely. Can you still do it barefoot? Yes. You can do it with a pole, you can do it with a desk, a chair, the back of a sofa, anything you can brace on. We're gonna pop up onto those toes, bend the knees, big chest lean back. I drop my inside arm so I can use it to brace my spine. You do not have to do that if you don't want to. I just find I like the shape better if I can drop deeper. And this hand facilitates that safely for me. So my outside leg is to the front, my inside leg is behind. Hips are in front of the pole, up on the toes, knee bend, straighten that top arm, big lean back. I don't know why it makes me think of a rock star, but it does. So, facing you, that looks like, is I have stood up. I'm gonna prep immediately for my fan kick. Swing that inside leg, fan kick, land, dip. Rock star. We're gonna think about it. Whatever makes your heart happy. We're gonna go over once again where I want your legs to land. So you are switching which leg is landing first, right? My inside leg is gonna take me off. It is going to be my back leg in my rock star stand. So, inside leg lift, circle, drop it back, other leg drops forwards. Rock star. Play with that, make sure you're comfortable with it. That leg position doesn't necessarily make or break this whole section of choreography, but if we can have it be automatic, it's gonna be easier. So, let's insert it with our counts and then with our music. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of this chunk of choreography. If you have anywhere that you weren't totally sure about, go ahead and review that section again, either with your counts or with your music. But as you may have noticed, that rock star pose behind our pole happens on Rebel Rebel. We then talk about walking a plank and being a bride. We have been following the music hits, right, with that twirly leg. It happened on the beats. We're now going to switch over from the beats to the words. So this may feel slightly more fluid than the section we just went through. We are going to be bouncing back and forth between focusing on the beat and focusing on the melody, just to keep this slightly more interesting choreography and timing-wise. So we have ended our rock star. Wrong foot. There we go. We've gone rock star. Rebel, rebel. I'm gonna come up to standing, pushing off that back foot. And then I'm gonna flick that back foot, real aggressive. From the other side, or from the back, let's do it that way so you kind of see where body parts are going. Like this. I'm here, a rock star. I'm standing I'm gonna squeeze my knees together and draw a circle away from the pole with my outside leg. So I'm gonna squeeze, lift, pivot, stop down. Creates this really fun little turn. It's just slightly more visually interesting than having you stand up and step. It's a little bit more aggressive. As always, if you're not in heels, please don't just kick the floor with your toes, that'll hurt. Fake it, make it a soft landing. Okay, rebel, rebel. Lift, pop. We're gonna body wave. I walk the plank without a tear in my eye. Do the goodie circles. I like to go chest forward. That's the way my body likes to do these circles. Likes to go chest, hips, chest, hips. If your body wants to do the opposite of that, please do. If we're here and your body wants to go, I walk the plank without a tear in my eye, go for it. Whatever your body likes. 2 of those. On my last one. 1, 2, on this one, as I drop back, I'm gonna come up lifting my arm high. Inside step into a Hollywood. I won't go down, your blushing bride. Toe makes contact with the floor. This can be a fireman or a Hollywood. The only difference is one leg is going to straighten. So I've stepped, my outside leg is gonna draw a circle, hook to the front of the pole, I'm gonna fall into that space I've made. My back leg is gonna follow, just straight. Toe touches down. The other leg is gonna stay in the air. How exciting. And we're gonna use it to do a backwards pirouette. So I'm gonna turn this leg, I'm gonna turn away from my pole, come underneath my pole, hand around, all the way around. Let's just talk about that pirouette. We'll put the 2 together. Outside leg, as it were, is planted. It is just landed you in your Hollywood. Inside arm is high, outside arm is on the pole. Inside leg is lifted. I'm gonna push that leg behind me. Take my arm, thread it through. Keep pushing. Rotating that top hand around to regrip. We speed it up a little bit, we're here. I'm gonna turn, plonk that foot down. Let's try putting that together with our Hollywood. So we're stepping inside, Hollywood, plant, big circle, standing, thread it through, and turn it around. Cool. Work on that a couple of times if you need to. Let's just review that section from our fan kick to our rock star into this next chunk, since it is a lot of movements in a row. And then we will continue on. So we rock star. Let's go from there. Actually, let's go from our fan kick into our rock star. That's better for us. So I've come up, outside leg in front, inside leg behind. We're gonna lift and fan kick. Landing down to rock star. Call me a rebel, rebel. Bring it up. Step and flick. Walk the plank without a tear in my eye. Shoot it up. Plant, and Hollywood, I won't go down, your blushing bride, big pirouette all the way around. Very good, work on that a couple of times if you need to. We're gonna move into our next section. It's a new day, don't worry about the outfit change. So, we are going from that pirouette into a walk, and that walk is going to take us to a cross step pirouette It's also occasionally called a two-handed or an overhead pirouette. But let's talk about that pirouette first. I'm going to do it facing you and then facing the way we will be for the choreography. And then we'll connect it to that walk. The basis of this pirouette is that I am going to be next to my pole. My inside arm is going to shift from being in handshake grip to being forearm in front of the pole, palm flat. And I'm going to cross my outside foot over my inside foot. And I do want to aim all the way past my pole. I should be able to see it between my legs. I'm not stepping behind myself. So nice big step over. And then I'm going to bring that back leg between my body and the pole. Drag it all the way around. Pivoting on that planted foot until I am facing backwards. So, again. Feet get to be wide, hand is in handshake, fingers come around, forearm in front of the pole, big cross, pirouette through, turning towards the pole, hand pivots back into that handshake grip. So it changes the side of the pole I'm on and the direction I am facing. So, with our choreography, we're going to be doing this facing away from our audience and then turning back to face them. So, I would be facing away, feet are wide, arm across, leg across, pirouette under, and we're facing our camera, audience, mirrors, whatever. Drawing that from our walk, we're going to take 3 steps. Arguably, 2 steps are going to move us, 1 step is going to prep us. So, I have done my nice big Hollywood spin, right? We're on this side of our pole, we planted, we hooked, we Hollywooded, and then I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna step. We pirouette, there we go. And then I'm gonna step. Inside, outside, inside, step wide, hand change, cross, and under. Because we are landing in a spin, if your Hollywood spin and your pirouette land you somewhere unexpected, take bigger steps, take smaller steps, maybe take fake steps. So if I've already landed here from that pirouette, I can always step inside, outside, inside, and then go into that cross. Once we figure out our timing count-wise and our timing with the song, you'll be able to adjust that as needed depending on where you end. So I have come through that pirouette. This is going to take us back into our chorus, which is going to be our last chunk of choreography today. So it's taking us back to cannot buy me, devil, devil, do not try me, devil, devil. We're going to have those same kind of beats that we had on the floor with those repeated words. We're also going to repeat some imagery with some of that like desperation and movement upwards. So, I want to come out of that pirouette and keep my leg lifted. So I'm going to cross, pick up this foot, pivot it all the way around. It is now my back leg. And I'm going to hook it onto the pole. So I have open arm and leg, and then closed arm and leg. We're going to pivot, and then do a chest bump. Do not try me, devil, devil. I'm going to switch, which hand is holding the pole, taking this leg off, and giving my back to my audience. So, do not try me, devil, devil. Cannot buy me, drop it down. And booty pop, devil, devil. Stylize your booty pops. If you want it to be knees open, knees open, and then close, whatever you like. It's just a 2 count, count and a half, devil, devil, booty pops. We're down here. I'm going to climb my pole, one hand over another, a little bit desperately for that you won't make a fool out of me. We were on our knees, we did our big panic reach up in the first half. we're gonna echo that here. Lower down, double, double. You won't make a fool out of me. Both hands are gonna go high, and we're gonna come into a prayer pose, or an angel pose. Same legs, different hands. I'm gonna do a nice big back arch and bend my knees. You won't make a fool out of me. Nice big pull, shoulders back and down. Tight core, big back arch, tight glutes, big lift away. And then feet come down. We are gonna aim to hold that. So, it is not just gonna be a little jump and then feet back down. The goal is to have that nice, big, strong shoulder pose. Lift those legs and hold before we drop them back down. We're gonna hold for at least 8 count, trying for 2 if we can. Some dynamics with that. I'm gonna do it facing you, and I'm gonna do it facing away from you, just so you can see where all the body parts are. I do wanna point out that my goal is to get my hips away from my pole, not to thrust them into my pole. I wanna protect that pelvis area. So, when I'm facing you with this trick, hands are high, shoulders are down, chest is lifted, big back arch looking up at the ceiling, nice big leg lift. If you are looking at the back, this pool is slippery today. Hands up, shoulders down, chest lifted, so I'm not looking at my pole. Let everything back. Nice big lift. From that prayer pose, we're going to go into our final little combo of this chunk of choreography. And then we're going to go through that section we just talked about with our counts, and then we'll go through it with our music, and then we'll do everything all the way from the top with our music. If we are coming out of that prayer pose, we're going to come out legs wide, and we do want to have some distance between our legs and the pole if we can, because I'm going to go from that into a pivot to face forwards. And then we're gonna do some fancy leg works and a pirouette. We had done this one before. People didn't necessarily love it, so we put it in the choreography again, because that's how the brain works. So, I'm in my prayer pose. Nice big lift and arch. And legs down. I'm gonna push off of my pole and pivot. My inside leg is gonna come up. It's gonna hook the pole, and then it's gonna pop straight off of the pole. I'm gonna tray hand, and I'm gonna go into a pirouette. So I'm gonna hook, pop it off, cross it over, pivot all the way around, re-hook over my leg, and then step. This is not a super false pirouette. You're welcome to use the other hand if you need it. So just talking through that nice and slowly again. I am facing forwards. Inside leg is going to come up. It's going to hook my pole. It's going to hook over my leg. And I'm going to start to pivot using that knee. Nice and slow. Rolling my hand over, regripping, finishing that pull around. If you want the other hand to help, what that's going to look like is I'm going to hook. I'm going to cross. I'm going to reach behind. And let that arm grip the pole and help to move me around. Well, our goal is to have that foot up in the air the whole time. If you needed to touch down, that's fine. Just remember to pick it up again. So if I needed to touch down, I'm gonna hook. I'm gonna cross it. I'm gonna come all the way around, and I'm gonna lift it and hook over my own leg. Stylistically, these hooks are gonna happen on beats, so I would like them to happen. You will find yourself going really, really quickly through this section if you get rid of those stylistic flicks. There are 2 of them over your own leg. 3 total. So we have flick onto pole, flick across leg, flick across leg. Step with that inside foot. Pow. Big toe drag with my outside leg. Hand can come across the chest if we need it, because we are going to be dragging that top hand down. So I'm going to bend into that inside leg, sweep my outside leg up, big again. Planting that inside foot. Big circle around. Nice big toe drag. Look at how long your leg is. This is then gonna lead into a leg lift and another toe drag. The leg lift is like those stylistic flicks. Please keep it in there because otherwise the timing is gonna get a little weird. So I've just done this toe drag. I'm gonna straighten this leg, pulling this one up. Kick, step, sweep with the other leg. Sweeping back around, so I'm kind of ending where I started. Let's run through just that little chunk with our leg flicks, and then we'll go through it from the beginning with our counts, from our beginning of this section with our counts, and then through the whole thing. So, we are coming out of that prayer pose. We've been praying. Pow, legs down, booty back, pivot the hips. And I'm gonna lift that inside leg, flick, cross, pirouette, flick, step, drag, lift, kick, step, drag. Let's try this from the top of this new section with just our counting. And then when we're ready, let's try the whole thing from the top with our music. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. for the Bumblebee Aerial Fitness October 2022 choreography. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. If you went through that first half in that song we just did and you remembered none of it, feel free to go back to part 1, review that for the next time I see you in class.